In scandal and is making a comeback on the ice and off. And actor Johnny Depp, who begins our hour. In his Act One, he was the prince of the offbeat independent film. Now, he's the king of the blockbuster.
Academy Award!
Among those up for Best Actor at the Oscars last week was first-time nominee Johnny Depp.
Johnny!
Depp's appearance on the red carpet could be taken as an entrance into his career's second act.
This is not another day at the office for you, my friend.
This is a horse of a different color, absolutely. It's very interesting. I mean, it's not a bad way to spend the afternoon.
He'd been nominated for Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
What the Black Pearl really is freedom.
His performance hit the jackpot, acting awards, and rave reviews in a box office smash.
He's clearly moved into a second act in terms of the audience that he's now been exposed to.
David Koepp wrote and directed Johnny Depp's newest movie, Secret Window. It opens Friday.
I buried my dog!
It started shooting just days after Pirates of the Caribbean opened.
Pirates opened, and Johnny's performance was so memorable that this big audience just bonded to him. Obviously, it was a delight for us. You know, we hired an actor and we got a huge movie star.
Yeah, what do you want, the lowdown on the big bust?
Depp had a huge audience once before, but they were mainly teenage girls. In the 80s, his face was on every teen magazine. He had a hit television series. He was positioned to be Hollywood's next big romantic lead. But that's not what he wanted.
I didn't want to be turned into some sort of saccharine bonbon. I just didn't want to be a poster boy. And so the fight began.
But you made a pretty deliberate decision after 4 years on this show and being a teen idol to go exactly the opposite.
I tried, you know.
I think you succeeded, but why? What was the thought process?
The thought process, it was pretty simple. I remember all these scripts were coming in, action things or, romantic lead things and stuff that seemed, all the life had already been sucked out of it, so I just waited.
Get in.
The wait would lead to a slew of roles in films that often thrilled loyal fans and film critics, but tanked at the box office. Depp had a taste for the quirky visions of directors working on the distant tributaries of Hollywood's mainstream. Early on, there was Crybaby for Baltimore-based John Waters. And because he clicked at a meeting with visual visionary Tim Burton, Depp landed a role bigger names were after, Edward Scissorhands.
I can remember reading the script for Scissorhands, and I thought, man, this is one of the greatest things I've ever read, whether it's a script, a book, play, whatever, and I loved it.
The tragicomic story of a sad outsider trapped in a freakish body became the film with which Depp says he most identified.
I felt really uncomfortable in my own skin, and I couldn't quite get a handle on it, And so yeah, I just took to poisoning myself, which was really stupid. It was really a dumb time.
Those were the days of drinking, drugs, and decadence, replete with a succession of high-profile girlfriends and the trashing of a New York hotel room after a lover's quarrel with model Kate Moss, a tantrum that landed Depp in jail. Bad behavior fueled a bad boy image. But in spite, or maybe because of that, big offers kept coming, and he kept turning them down.
Is it true you passed up some roles in some really big movies that ended up being huge hits for those actors?
I think so.
Lestat in Interview with a Vampire, Speed.
I mean, quite a few of them, I don't even remember what they were.
And action!
He passed up the blockbusters, but latched on to small, odd projects like Ed Wood, the story of a cross-dressing director with big dreams and little talent. It made very little money.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm directing.
Spinning off the mainstream once again, he starred in The Ninth Gate, a dark vision from director Roman Polanski that barely broke even at the box office. But on its European locations, the second act of Depp's personal life began with a dramatic entrance.
So you were in Paris shooting a movie, and you're at dinner one night, and you look across the crowded restaurant, and what do you see?
I saw this back and his neck. I thought, my God, what's that, you know? And suddenly the back turned to face me, like, you know, from 20, 30 yards away, and made eye contact.
That was it?
That was it.
You were done.
Done. Finished.
Off the market.
Over with. Over with. Cooked.
Her name was Vanessa Paradis, a French actress and pop star. The couple now has 2 children and lives in the south of France.
Do you see yourself as a family man now? I mean, is
Yeah.
that the single most important part of your life?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's everything. Oh, yeah.
The cavorting of Act 1 turned into domesticity in Act 2. Depp says he now likes the slower pace of Europe and wants to shield his children from the excesses of Hollywood.
They should grow up in a very simple, calm environment, you know, where everything is not about the next movie or the, you know, success.
Is it a relief to be out of that environment?
It's a good place to visit, you know, like Disneyland. You know, Disneyland is really fun to hang out in for a while. You don't want to live there, you know.
But Disneyland, of all things, would play a role in Depp's second act. The mega hit Pirates of the Caribbean is based on a Disneyland ride.
Do you think this wise, boy? Crossing blades with a pirate?
Beneath the long locks and eye makeup, Depp's pirate character is a romantic action hero. Everything he tried so hard to avoid in his career's first act. Why the change in Act 2?
When the pirate idea came around, I sort of said, yeah, that sounds interesting. And then, you know, all along, yeah, sort of thinking like, it'd be great to make a movie that my kids could watch.
Being a good dad paid off. The movie made more than $650 million, and it made 40-year-old Johnny Depp a bankable mainstream movie star, like it or not.
It's very difficult for me to sort of think of myself in terms of celebrity. I don't see it. I think about it as like I'm a guy with a strange job, you know?
You had a job of work needed doing.
Depp's new movie, Secret Window, was a far cry from his pirate romp. It's a suspense thriller.
You stole my story.
If you want to talk to someone about some grievance you feel you may have, you can call my literary agent.
Depp plays a writer in big trouble. The man who made the movie says he's lucky to be part of Depp's second act.
He's very comfortable with his craft. Act 2 in this case might actually be for the American public. It's Act 2 of our perceptions of Johnny Depp. Hey, everybody else, where you been the last 15 years? He is great, isn't he?
When 2020 returns,